On the Senate scandal, people are outraged. With the sad Ford farce, they are appallingly mesmerized. The only way either one of these two could get any worse would be for Rob Ford to resign and get appointed for life to the Senate. And then if Mike Duffy, taking advantage of loose residency requirements, were to run for mayor of Toronto. Now, if personal honor of the old-fashioned kind were a motivator these days, the three senators at the center of their cloud would simply resign. This has gone on long enough. But Mr. Ford just makes you wince. When you have to end the sentence with the phrase, "But that must have been when I was in a drunken stupor," and you think that phrase lightens or lessens what you said at the beginning of that sentence, it might be time to give up on sentences altogether. And when there's even another video today more embarrassing than the crack video, and that embarrassed a hermit, never mind the mayor, which is also extenuated by extreme inebriation, well, it really is time to take off the chain of office before less metaphorical chains are being applied. For all the chief laughs it's earning, I think the Ford situation is more sad than funny, more painful than political. Now understand, he's earned this awful harvest with his behavior, but at the center of the spectacle is something very like sadness. The only tourniquet now is his resignation. There is nowhere else for him to be or to go. A mayor who ends up being shadowed by his own police force, who has press blow-ups almost written into his schedule, who ambles around parking lots at 4 a.m., and who stumbles from one PR cyclone to the next, is the very definition of dysfunction. A mayor is very much a figurehead, the face of a city. When that face spends more time being mocked on the comedy networks of other countries and at home, it's clearly past time to step down. Now, even in the middle of it all, I think it's worth noting that Ford himself personally is not a venal politician, a classic self-seeking type. This is a personal meltdown, greatly magnified and overflowing into his political role. He is hurting the city, I absolutely believe him on this, that he claims to love. He's also hurting the ever-shrinking number of supporters who like him, and he is really hurting his real friends. He's not being tough, refusing to resign. He's being willful and intensifying his and others' misery. So, while people rightly rebuke him for all the flaws and behavior that has made Toronto a punchline and him a laughingstock for half the world, I also think we are watching something that is even more sad than it is reprehensible. As a friend put it, for his own good and everyone else's, he should say now, goodbye, I'm sorry, and go home. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.